So, Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett. You've probably seen her before. You've probably heard of her. She is a star in the Democratic Party. She has these amazing viral clips of her just taking down Republicans. And so I'm excited to show you this clip I have for you today of her doing the exact same thing once again. There was a hearing in Congress the other day on crime, and they brought in some law enforcement officials, some police officers to testify under oath and allow the different members of this committee to ask them some questions about crime and all this different stuff going on around the United States. Now, we all know that Republicans are pushing this false narrative that there's somehow mysteriously this huge spike in crime. Just every single category is up and everybody should be scared and fearful. That's what they're arguing right now. That's what Donald Trump is arguing. He's doing this every single day. And this is like a big pitch that they're making for the 2024 presidential election. So Jasmine Crockett used this amazing opportunity with law enforcement officials in front of her to completely dispel this myth that crime is spiking, that everybody should be fearful. And it's just so perfectly done. I'll show you it right now. I won't talk about it too much because I want you to see it for yourself. It is just a great clip. So I'm going to show you that in a second. But before I do so, make sure to subscribe down below. It goes such a long way. I greatly appreciate the support. But enough chit chat. Here is that clip of Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett.
With that being said, Sheriff, do you know if within the last year between 2022 and 2023, if there was an increase or decrease in murder and negligent homicide in Tarrant County?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it did not increase.
Okay. In fact, it went down by almost 17%. So great job. What about manslaughter by negligence, or we call it criminally negligent homicide?
I believe it also went down.
Yes.
It may be on ticking up at the moment on intoxicated and homicide may be ticking up at the moment in 24.
Okay, well, we had a 56.52% decrease. How about rape?
All those categories we believe went down.
Absolutely.
And I do credit a lot of incredible law enforcement and municipal police chiefs.
Awesome. So there actually was a decrease by 3.35% in rape. Robbery went down 4.5%, and both aggravated and simple assault went collectively down by 3.18%, and theft went down by 3.89%. This is at the same time in which we're talking about the migrant community and stoking these fears that they're bringing all of this trauma and this crime and violence to our communities. But when we look at a Texas community, Tarrant County, actually everything has gone down. And I do want to thank you for your service in that way, because it takes a team. It can't just be one thing. It means we've got to have great law enforcement, but we also have to have really good policies, and we honestly need to be honest about the data that we see. So overall, it shows me that Sheriff in Tarrant County, all crime was down, is what I can tell from the numbers. And do you know if Dallas County, which is next door, if they had an increase or decrease in overall crime?
I think all of North Texas we saw decreases.
Absolutely.
Every one. And again, Chief Garcia, Chief Neil Noakes, there's some great police work going on in both of those counties.
Absolutely. So,
oh man, I love it. Oh, what a great presentation and what a great line of questioning. And I love the visual nature of it all, having that board and taking things down and saying, hey, actually all of this behind me has gone down and general crime has gone down. Now, as I was mentioning before, this is one of the big narratives that Republicans are pushing for 2024, that crime is spiking and that everybody should be fearful. They're even putting on migrants in specific, which is insane because migrants actually commit less crime than native-born Americans, but this is something they're running on. And we've talked about this before on this channel, specifically the topics surrounding crime and how Republicans are using it. And we all know what they're doing. Like, we see it a million miles away. This is to try to scare people into voting for them, claiming that they are, in fact, the party that's going to be a tough-on-crime party and that they're going to take a tough-on-crime approach, even though they haven't done that, and any approach they take is either ineffective or doesn't do anything. But this is one of their big things. They're literally trying to scare people into voting for them and completely just disregarding any of the data. Any of the data. You bring it up to them, you say, well, actually, the FBI says this. It's a completely different story than what you're painting. And they're like, no, we don't believe it. We think the FBI is flawed or something. Like, this is, it's just the MAGA line of arguing. You'd be like, hey, here's some data. They'll be like, no, it's fake. What about this data? No, it's fake. What about this data? No, it's fake. No, I can't trust any of it. And then they bring up a website like MAGApatriot123.com. This most random website you've ever heard. And they'd be like, well, this website says differently. And I'm like, yeah, well, the FBI says this. They're like, no, I don't believe it. So always difficult to argue with them on this stuff because they just don't agree on the facts. But this is what they're doing. This is one of their big campaign pitches. It is probably not a good sign for your party if you have to scare people into voting for you. If your entire campaign message is based on completely ignoring data from the federal government and like verified reports from police departments around the country, and it also relies on just like scaring people, just putting out the most awful and disgusting lies out there to try to get people to vote for you, you're probably not running a very successful campaign, one that's built off of like actually trying to make people's lives better. It's more probably that you are running a campaign to just get into power, which is pretty much what MAGA does, right? And I want to show you like a specific example of what the Republicans are doing in real time, this kind of campaign pitch that they're making. So this post on your screen right now was posted by the official House Judiciary GOP Twitter account or X account, this Republican-led, Republican-controlled account. And they posted like this 2-minute video. I won't show you the video. You don't need to see it, I promise. And it says, the caption at least is, "You're not safe in Alvin Bragg's New York City." Alvin Bragg is the Manhattan DA. They go on to say, sadly, he's spending all of his time attacking Donald Trump rather than cleaning up his own streets. And this is just not true. This is just categorically false. You can look at data being officially reported by the New York City government website, and you can see that this is a complete lie. And all they're trying to do is make you fearful and paint this picture of New York City, which they've been trying to do for decades, by the way, that it's like completely crime-ridden and all the liberals are just letting it fly. And like, no, here's the actual data from the New York City Gov website, as you can see on your screen. Throughout the 5 boroughs, which I'm not sure if they knew, the Republicans knew that there's 5 boroughs of New York City, overall crime continued its downward trajectory, dipping another 1.1%. And as you can see, there are different specific categories. Number of shootings decreased dramatically by 16%, resulting in fewer people shot, just killings of people, assaults, robbery, theft, all down dramatically in New York City under Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. Now, fighting crime is, a complex thing. It's not just like, hey, let's fund more police officers and then it's done, right? It's a complex thing, but it's happening. Crime is decreasing in New York City. And by the way, all across the United States, this is not Jasmine Crockett was talking about a specific place in Texas. I was just talking about New York City. But as Joe Scarborough, one of my favorite journalists out there, posted on Twitter or X, I don't know what we're calling it these days, that platform today, he said, homicide, this is an article from Axios, homicides in the U.S. drop amid voter concern over crime. And virtually every single major American city, Boston, Philly, Miami, Dallas, Washington, Houston, and more, homicide specifically, along with crime, overall crime, has dropped dramatically. Dramatically. All of these places, crime is falling. But Republicans will not pay attention to the data. And it's so difficult because we all want to make America better. We as Democrats, especially so. I'm sure that there are some moderate conservatives out there who I just disagree with, who also want to make the country better. I don't hate that. But we as Democrats certainly do. But it's hard to make the country better when we can't even agree on the facts. When we can't even say, like, look, this is not a major issue right now. We don't have to start lying to people. We don't have to start pumping a bunch more money into law enforcement unless necessary for some underfunded parts of the United States around the country. But if we can't agree on the facts, we can't come to a common sense solution. And thus that also prevents us from going to other issues, right? Because now Republicans have made crime their big issue, their big thing. And we're over here saying like, hey, this is not a big issue. This is not a huge thing. We should not be focusing on this because the data just doesn't show that it's a big thing. How about we focus on hunger? How about we focus on poverty? How about we focus on healthcare costs? And Republicans are like, no, we can't do that. We can't make the journey with you because we're focused on this fake issue. And it's like, oh my God. We all just want to make the country better. And yet they're standing in the way with a fake issue. It's not even real. It's not even a thing. They're just making it up. So yeah, oh man, that Jasmine Crockett clip, make an ad out of it. Put it everywhere. I hope people are sharing this clip everywhere, sharing this video. I don't know. Because I think a lot of people need to see it and, kind of dispel that myth that there's so much crime happening in the United States that Republicans are trying to push. It's such a shame. But yeah, Jasmine Crockett's fantastic. I hope that she is putting in some work for President Biden this cycle, maybe on the campaign trail. That'd be great. She's just such a superstar. And yeah, great to see the clip and happy that this myth is being dispelled more so now than ever. So I will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a like on the video, share the video, and comment on the video. Let me know what you think about this. And of course, have a great rest of your day. I really appreciate the support. It means a lot. And I hope to see you back here soon.